Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. Recently, Apple and Huawei held the same autumn new product launch conference, which quickly attracted global attention and heated discussions. Apple released the iPhone 16 as usual, while Huawei brought the three-fold screen Mate XT. The gap was obvious. Compared with Huawei's many technological innovations, Apple's new products have basically no new features except AI, which can only be used in the future. Not only that, Apple did not expect that India and the European Union announced successively, and foreign media said that they would be under great pressure. Previously, when Apple held a new product launch conference, as long as it introduced the upgraded functions of the A-series chips, plus the highlights of the iOS operating system update, it could basically continue Apple's high-end positioning and bring a lot of sales. What Apple did not expect was that this time Huawei did not release the Mate 70 as usual, and compared with Apple in Kirin chips and Hongmeng system, but took out the three-fold screen Mate XT, showing hardware technology innovation, and going straight to the ultra-high-end. In a short period of time, Huawei's three-fold screen mobile phone reservations have exceeded 4 million, directly crushing Apple's high-end positioning. To be honest, the innovation of Apple mobile phones has been weak in recent years, and there is basically no major innovation in the new products released every year. Take satellite communication and calls as an example. Huawei no longer regards them as important selling points, and other domestic mobile phones also have them. However, Apple mobile phones in the mainland market still do not have satellite call functions. It is said that this function is only available in Europe and the United States. Let's talk about AI technology. This time it is the core selling point of iPhone 16, but it is still a long way to go for the mainland market. The two important functions are missing, but the price is not discounted, and it is even more expensive than the overseas version, which is unacceptable. On the day of the press conference, the European Union suddenly received news that Apple lost the huge tax evasion case and will pay up to 13 billion euros, about 102.1 billion yuan, in taxes. In March this year, the European Union fined Apple 1.8 billion euros. The reason is that Apple abused its dominant position in the application market, and was launched an antitrust investigation by the European Union, and the core of it is still the 30% Apple tax. This makes people have to think of the recent fierce negotiations between Apple and Tencent due to Apple's tax deduction. Apple has implemented the highest tax rate in the mainland market, and also wants to collect commissions from the mini-program ecosystem created by WeChat. For this reason, Apple even threatened to stop updating WeChat, so there were rumors that iPhone 16 does not support WeChat, and Apple WeChat, or WeChat. Tencent also did not compromise. After all, the mini-program ecosystem was created with great effort. If the dispute continues, it may directly affect the sales of iPhone 16. After all, we cannot do without national-level applications, so Apple temporarily compromised and agreed to the normal update of WeChat to avoid affecting the sales of iPhone 16. However, the dispute between the two sides has not ended, and the negotiations will continue, which undoubtedly casts a shadow on the sales of iPhone 16. That's not all. What Cook did not expect was that recently there was a big news from India. Its Minister of Electronics and Information Technology publicly stated that Apple's latest iPhone 16 will not only be produced in India, but will also be supplied to the world. This news directly broke the previous rumors, that is, because the iPhone 16 requires higher precision, Apple is worried about the quality of assembly in India, so it transferred the assembly of iPhone 16 back to the mainland and handed it over to Chinese companies such as BYD. It can be seen that Apple is still worried that assembly in India will affect the sales of iPhone 16, so there is this news. You know, the quality of Indian assembled products is indeed incomparable with our mainland. Although it is also assembled by Foxconn, Apple's Royal Foundry. After all, the quality of Indian workers and the degree of perfection of the supporting industrial chain are still far behind our mainland. Previously, because of many quality problems in products supplied by India, the European market returned iPhones made in India. This time, the Indian minister publicly released the news, which really caught Apple off guard. Cook has always insisted on keeping a low profile on the source of product supply, because no one wants to buy an iPhone with a curry flavor, not only in our mainland, but also in others. In this regard, some foreign media directly stated that Apple is under great pressure, and many aspects have brought sales pressure to iPhone 16. After all, the mainland market is very important to Apple. In order not to affect the sales of iPhone 16, Apple also responded urgently that the iPhones made in India are mainly for the Indian market and surrounding areas, and will not be supplied to the mainland market. However, it can be confirmed that it is also true that the iPhone 16 is made in India, and not only the basic version, but also the high-end models of iPhone 16 Pro and Max are made in India for the first time, which fully demonstrates Apple's emphasis on Indian manufacturing. Apple and Huawei released new products. Huawei's three-fold screen Mate XT caused heated discussions. Apple iPhone 16 lacked innovation, faced huge fines from the EU and production pressure in India. Apple responded urgently that iPhones made in India will not be supplied to the mainland market.